Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here, Sunday, October 20th, and just going to go over the week that was, take a look ahead, see if we can see some opportunities here for some swing trades specifically. And we'll start out just by looking at FinViz, see what groups did and see how the markets, you see the markets sold off on Friday. And Dow particularly, because we had a few of the Dow stocks that were really getting beat up on some headlines. J&J, I think Boeing's another one. They didn't bounce back quite like the Nasdaq and the S&P did, but I told people in the day trading room as we were selling off, I said, "Don't worry, the market will come back." And of course, it made a pretty good run at coming back here after that pretty steep sell-off. So let's take a look at the internals here. Still pretty neutral. Bear Bull still neutral. Had some new highs compared to new lows despite the market sell-off, which is kind of interesting. Guess some stocks are performing well. So you can see on the 1 week performance, healthcare. Healthcare seems to be coming up. Just going to take a look at that a little bit further. Financials had a nice week just because there were some earnings out last week. We did the big financials. Some of them came out with some pretty solid earnings. And so the good performance there. And you can see here on the month till technology is lagging, and even on the 1 week technology lagging a little bit there. So banks seem to be doing okay. Financials, maybe some more upside. And you can see here on the 10-year, the Treasury, always like to watch that to see what's going on with the interest rates. And you can see here we're kind of so it looks like we've kind of reached an equilibrium here at the 170, 1.75 level. So I'll be watching for that to break one way or another. The Fed is indicating maybe there isn't going to be any more interest rate cuts. So maybe we're going to be pretty much here for the rest of the year. Had a bunch of Fed speak on Friday. 4 I think governors were speaking, but really nothing came out of that, I don't believe. So you can see here again on the 1 week, we just really barely moved at all. Pretty stuck. Let's take a look at the weeklies on the indexes. We know we had a big down day on Friday. The Dow again tried to push through that 27,000 level and got rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So, and 5 times because it actually did open up on Monday and then drop below it. So this does seem to be a level that the Dow is trying to get through, so keep an eye on that for another finish above it. It came up, challenged the high here, and then we've done a pretty significant pullback. Actually, we even touched the 50. That was amazing. So pretty volatile, you can see. IWM again it actually had a pretty strong day, despite the fact being down on the day. You can see here it touched the 200-day moving average and bounced right off it, came right back up again. So maybe you can keep an eye on this 200-day moving average as an area to trade the IWM off of. See what we looked like on the weekly. Again, actually finished up on the week, and we could still be pushing back up to this 157 level, but it's like I said, it's pretty choppy price action. So you've got to be either widen your stops or get a really good entry. Right at this 50 on the weekly might be a good one to try to get in at if it hits there again. And the Qs, again, not a great day on Friday, but on the week we kind of barely finished up on the day. We've tested this 195 level once, twice, 3 times, pulled back. So maybe 4 is a charm. Maybe we push through there this week. We'll see what happens there. SPY, same deal on Friday. Again, all these down days that tried to get through this 3,000 level, and rejection. So maybe this week will be the charm, and for a close above 3,000 could be an impetus to move us higher. Dollar, again, just been watching this and mentioning it. It's just been getting taken to the woodshed here, as they say, but it might be looking like it could get into a level of support here, maybe around 2650. It's not a big move on these, this is 2670, 2650, so it's, 2680, so it's not really moving a lot in terms of price on the UUP. But always interested to see what the dollar's doing, and it's been going down against the euro and the pound, strengthening because of the Brexit deal. I suspect it's going to bounce back up here on Monday because we got another delay on Brexit, so more kicking the can down the road there. And VIX still looks like it's just hanging up in this level right here, volatility. And unless we get some pretty significant geopolitical news or some other negative headline news risk, probably going to hang around in this range. So let's take a quick look at some of the actives. I haven't really talked much about those. I haven't got Nugget right now. Should take that out. We'll talk about Nugget in a few minutes here. I do have MO. I did pick this up back down here after it started to come back up. Some of the negative news came out on it, and I saw it bottoming, and I picked some up. I mentioned that in the trading room, but unfortunately I was away, so I don't think I got that out on an email. So one of the few times I've actually missed sending out an email. T, I've been in for a long time. I know I've mentioned it multiple times in the room, and it looks like it's trying to break out here. So RSI is looking pretty good. It's getting into it's heading up, but it's getting into an oversold area. 50 and 200 all moving up nicely. This breakout happened on some, more than average volume. So liking that, and MACD's turning up too. So T looks like it's good for another little leg up here. And like the fact also it pays a dividend. So again, it's going to be it's a longer term hold for me. I'm not even sure if I would consider it a swing because I've been holding it for a while now. On watch, Baidu, all the Chinese stocks, of course, had a bad week on Friday, and conflicting news coming out of first the White House said we're close to a deal, although I'm not really sure it's going to be much of a deal, and then China. One of their senior representatives said, yes, that's right, we're close to a deal. But then the weekend there was some news came out about some big soybean purchase by China from Brazil. So, I think the deal was the tariffs don't escalate, and they buy more agriculture products. So I'm not sure how that fits, but and I don't even understand how this was even a deal. Chinese got what they wanted anyway. They got their the tariffs delayed. No more increased and they have to buy soybeans. They have to buy their foods anyway. So I'm not really sure. Again, I don't know all the details, but from a negotiating perspective, I'm not sure. I think China got what they wanted anyway, but we'll see what comes out of this deal. Like I said, I don't know all the details of it. So I'm going to keep an eye on Baidu. Again, this is might be a really good entry down around 100. See if it can hold there again. That's one opportunity possibly. Looks like it's had some pretty firm support there. CGC it was in and then kind of got stopped out of because it's just gotten choppy. Again, we're going to have to look for a breakout of like 2090, 2080 before we get some kind of consolidation and possibly a break of trend here, which this still looks like it's in a bit of a downtrend. Let's take a quick look here. You can see we did kind of break out on this, but now we've checked back. So I guess we'll just see if this can hold. And if it can, then maybe some of the marijuana stocks will actually start to turn around. L brands, a lot of everybody was trading on Friday, as they know, some of the retailers really got taken to the woodshed. Gap, Gildan, underwear maker, LB, L brands Victoria's Secrets, etc. They all took a real drubbing. And you can see here we've come back down. There's a level here at low 16. Low on this day was 1582. Low on this day 1589. So I'm thinking L Brands could probably, if it can hold around the, if it can drop back down again on Monday and maybe where was the low of the day? It actually went right out on the low of the day here. Closed on the low. So maybe we'll get a little bit more downside. I'd be watching for some selling, some bottoming, somewhere around 1590, and possibly a real tight stop on that with for another bottom here. So just keep an eye on L Brands. Set the alert on that. Nugget just seems to be making a series of lower highs. You can see here lower high, lower high, lower high. So just looking kind of a double top here. So I'm kind of looking to see if not a lot of volume on Friday. Just looking to see if we can break this this trend. I'm not going to take time to draw the line in. I'm sure you can see it if you draw the line on the tops here. We'll see if it can find some footing here around 25. And on the weekly here, it actually looks a little, it's always interesting to back things up, take a higher level view. And you can see here on the weekly, the weekly chart actually doesn't look too bad on this with this last week's doji. You can see here it's almost a dragonfly doji, not quite at the top, the horizontal line here, but pretty close. So this is a nice, possibly reversing candle here on this on Nugget, but again it has to break out of this downtrend, which it seems to be in. PayPal took a beating on Friday as well. You could see here it had a nice week going till it got to 104, and then Friday hit and we really got a sell-off here. So again, this level here around 100 seems to be maybe a level where it's probably might hold. And PayPal could be interesting. Again, watching for all these on a bit of a pullback to get a really good entry. And then again, you've got a 99.40-ish area here, which would need to hold. Otherwise, there'd be more downside. But you can see here, this is actually a trend that has been broken. So you can see if we draw this line here. You can see here we actually broke the trend and then a little bit of a pullback, but then started to head higher. And the only downside, of course, yesterday the 50 and the 200 crossed, which is not a good technical sign. But again, we had a big down day on Friday on PayPal, so we'll see how that behaves on Monday. But it might actually be an interesting hold as well. Again, the weekly seems to be holding right along the 50 moving average. PayPal, Roku didn't have a great day Friday either. Obviously sold off after it hit that 140 level, which is where we ran into some resistance here, and then a breakout here, and then some support along here. So not surprising, we had a down day, and that's where it got rejected, right at 140. And we're liking trading Roku in the day trading room, so not sure where it's going to go from there. It's kind of in no man's land. Square, sort of same as PayPal. There's a level here that I can see, goes back to this level here, 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 kind of along here. This 60 level seems to be a level that it's going to be likes to hold, or at least it seems to want to hold. So see what happens on Monday, but square around 60 could be an interesting play. And then again, 60 looks like 63.5, 64 is where it's going to find some resistance. So, but that gives you a pretty decent risk reward if you can get around 60 or just above it. Your stop is going to be a close below I would say even a close below this level here. If you wanted to use a really tight stop, sort of a low 59.70, close below that. And yeah, good opportunity to get, maybe a buck or two, a couple bucks out of this. So TLT, again, this is kind of flattening out with the interest rates flattening out. So I don't, until the interest rates break one way or another, TLT and TBT are kind of going to trade flat. TNA, again, this is sort of the proxy for the small caps. Interesting to see how this behaves this coming week, because it actually did trade fairly. It's been fairly strong the weekend. The down Friday, it actually didn't perform too badly, so came bouncing back pretty close to this 50 moving average. So keep that eye on that again on Monday. UNG, natural gas prices kind of just hanging around. Not really, kind of chopping. Same with oil prices, are kind of chopping. There's some geopolitical risk, but on the other hand, there's lots of supply, and with people thinking the economy is going to slow down, usually that's an impetus for the price of oil to go lower with lower economic activity. So I think it's just going looks like it's going to be in the doldrums here for a little bit. We'll look for a break of either this line or this line, sort of between 11 and 1140. It seems to be trading in this range now. And that's about it. Let's quickly, since we talked about healthcare, let's take a look at the XLV, which is the ETF, Spider ETF. It's a fund actually, but you can see here it's right back up to resistance, this 92 level. So XLV could have some more upside if it can break 92. So now that's a level to keep an on your alerts. So, and then we could be good right up to sort of the 94 level, where it did a bit of a topping action here, and it's been sort of chopping in this range. All right, that's it, everybody. This is my book, How to Swing Trade, on Amazon. Hope if you haven't checked it out, it's there to buy, either paperback audio book or Kindle. And hope everyone has had a great weekend. We will see you if you're going to join us in the Bear Bull day trading room in the morning. I'll see you all there, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Bye for now.